Today's scripture reading is from the Gospel of John in the 15th chapter. And so we'll read through the 15th chapter of the Gospel of John, and then I'll share a few observations that I have from this passage. So, Gospel of John, chapter 15, Jesus speaking, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the farmer. Every branch in me that doesn't bear fruit, he takes away. Every branch that bears fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. You are already pruned clean because of the word which I have spoken to you. Remain in me, and I in you. As the branch can't bear fruit by itself unless it remains in the vine, so neither can you unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who remains in me and I in him bears much fruit, for apart from me you can do nothing. If a man doesn't remain in me, he is thrown out as a branch and is withered, and they gather them, throw them into the fire, and they are burned. If you remain in me and my word remains in you, you will ask whatever you desire, and it will be done for you. In this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, and so you will be my disciples. Even as the Father has loved me, I also have loved you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I have spoken these things to you, that my joy may remain in you, and that your joy may be made full. This is my commandment, that you love one another, even as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do whatever I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for the servant doesn't know what his Lord does. But I have called you friends, for everything that I heard from my Father I have made known to you. You didn't choose me, but I chose you and appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatever you will ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. I command these things to you, that you may love one another. If the world hates you, you know that it has hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. But because you are not of the world, since I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said to you, a servant is not greater than his Lord. If they persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they kept my word, they will also keep yours. But they will do all these things to you for my name's sake, because they don't know him who sent me. If I had not come and spoken to them, they would have had no sin, but now they have no excuse for their sin. He who hates me hates my Father also. If I hadn't done among them the works which no one else did, they wouldn't have had sin. But now they have seen and also hated both me and my Father. But this happened so that the word may be fulfilled, which was written in their law. They hated me without a cause. When the Counselor is come, whom I will send to you from the Father, the Spirit of truth, who proceeds from the Father, he will testify about me. You will also testify, because you have been with me from the beginning. May the Lord add his blessing to the reading of his word. Hopefully you can hear me clearly this morning that we are in Wyoming, and our RV here, it's a custom RV that I basically think of as a cabin on wheels, but the wind is really blowing right now, and we had a little snow last night. Fortunately, it didn't stick or mount to anything, but it's blowing pretty good, and we're rocking a little, and hopefully that doesn't come through on the microphone. But if it does, now you know what's going on. So a few observations here. We could talk a lot about the content of John 15. We could do a whole series of videos just on John 15, but for this one, it's primarily a scripture reading series. So I want to focus on the text of the Gospel of John and get that out there, and the Spirit can do what he will with it. But I do like to share a few observations. I got 5 I picked out of this one, and we could pick a lot more, and we could go a lot deeper on any of them. But here's the 5 observations I wanted to share. First of all, just he starts off with this conversation about the vineyard. It's an extended metaphor, and Jesus refers to vineyards as metaphor. He uses vineyards as metaphors more than once in the Gospels. It's recorded for us. Also, Isaiah 5, for example, we see in other places in the Old Testament. So it's kind of a common metaphor, and that's what we see kicking off this chapter 15. I wanted to look at the comment Jesus makes in verse 4, "Remain in me, and I in you." And this is what the late and fantastic Bible teacher, Bible scholar Michael Heiser refers to as believing loyalty. Verse 4, Jesus goes on to say, as the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it remains in the vine, so neither can you unless you remain in me. And then verse 6, if a man does not remain in me, he is thrown out as a branch and is withered, and they gather them, throw them into the fire, and they are burned. So true Christianity, the true Christian, has believing loyalty. Now, that doesn't mean you never go through dark periods in your life. It doesn't mean you never struggle. That doesn't mean you never question anything. But the true Christian remains in Jesus. They have believing loyalty, and they stick with it to the end, until either death or until Jesus returns. They stick with it. So believing loyalty. Remain in me and I in you, Jesus says. All right, third observation here from verse 8, God the Father is glorified when we bear much fruit and are Jesus' disciples. This brings to my mind the fact that the idea that we are image bearers of God. We're created to be image bearers of God. Now, we all do that to varying degrees imperfectly. Some people come a lot closer than others in this life, but we're all created to be image bearers of God. We're created to be God's representatives here on the earth. Genesis 1:26 and 27, God said, let's make man in our image, after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. God created man in his own image. In God's image, he created him, male and female. He created them. And so we're created to be image bearers of God, and God the Father is glorified when we indeed bear much fruit and are Jesus' disciples. Fourth, talk about true love. Verse 9, even as the Father has loved me, I also have loved you. Remain in my love. We're back to that remain thing again, right? Verse 10, if you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. Verse 12, this is my commandment, that you love one another, even as I have loved you. Verse 13, greater love is no one than this, than someone who lays down his life for his friends. True love, not as the world understands love, but true love is from and in God. And finally, true joy. Verse 11, Jesus says, I have spoken these things to you, that my joy may remain in you, and that your joy may be made full. True joy, or joy that is made full, is made possible in the context of love. We are created to love and to be loved, and it's in that context that we can experience true joy. And true joy, or joy that is made full, only comes through proper relationship with God. So in conclusion, I pray that you will come to the Father through Jesus. I also pray that you will remain in Jesus and and you will experience true love and joy.